Fancy meeting you here. Oh, what's that? You can't see anything? Oh, let me fix that real quick. Still not bright enough? I got you. Oh yeah, let's get some real light. So these are the ultra rare JDM headlights, dual housing headlights from Japan or Malaysia or Russia, basically everywhere but here. They're really cool, they're really rare. I've currently got them hooked up with the Morimoto relay for HIDs, for high-low, H1 or H1s in both housings, 9004, 9007 plug, that's the standard stuff. These are actually all H1. And then the corners, these corners are pretty cool. They've actually got a bulge on them. You can see that there. I did bake these open, and you can see where I actually screwed up. Yeah. I may have forgot about that in the oven, and it may not be okay to heat it at 220 degrees for 15 or 20 minutes. But I got one. I did actually crack the corner, but I resealed it just for test fits and whatnot. I've got some depot style without the bulge, but the same style. I'm gonna bake those open and reseal them, and I'll install them when they get here from Japan. Unfortunately, this isn't something you can get in America. But yeah, these are my headlights. We're gonna install them, and just gonna show you some of the little wiring I did. So we just took some old HID kits I had, and took the plugs, and I rewired them into the housings. I'm just gonna move those around so you can see a little bit more. And they've got these little screw-on or twist-on caps. The LED bulbs actually have a fan, and it's sitting right behind there. But yeah, I basically ran all new wire to the old plugs from some old HID kits. And here I fixed the standoff that's normally right here. I don't know if you can see that very well. But yeah, I fixed that just with a bolt and did some two-part epoxy in there. Like I said, I melted the crap out of that one just to take out these orange reflectors. I don't care for orange at all anywhere. And yeah, that's pretty much it. 9004, 9007 plug, H1's on the inside. They just take a little power and grounds from each side. It actually all runs from one plug, so that'll be pretty nice. Using these, that's actually for the fog lights. And H1s, got those on Amazon. I actually got these from my buddy Chris, from the forums, from the Facebook groups. You'll probably know him. Yeah, and it's got a lot of different directions that it broke from, so I'm thinking it's going to create a pretty strong bond, because it basically is going to hold itself from like 3 different directions, and I'm gonna booger it up in there to make it work a little better. Okay. All right. Use my paint stick screwdriver. Already getting a hair tacky. That's good. Should be a little bit easier to set in place. Okay. Got a good amount on all the sides there. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm gonna paint this portion. Okay, so I'm gonna try and just fill this hole. Yeah, okay. Fill that hole, hopefully it doesn't leak in. Oh, I opened the hole. That was good. Good job. Trying to make as much surface area for it to adhere to as possible. I don't want to make make the top look ugly though, if I can avoid it. I'm gonna paint a little bit more around the cracks. Oh yeah, it's already tacking up, that's good. That's what I like to see. There we go, get some backlight for y'all. And, okay. So I kinda filled the hole over here. Got a little extra kicked on. Oh, handle's too tall. Put a little extra under there. Along in there. And along top. So I'm gonna give that a few minutes. Maybe pile a little more on. Try to smooth these guys out. It's very stringy. And clean it up as best I can, but it's probably gonna hold, hopefully. Try and just do another layer right here and just add a little bit to that spot, hopefully. Definitely gonna take 24 plus hours to cure. If I can just get enough mass here, I can maybe drill it and put a screw, self-tapping screw or something in there. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Just gave it a little bit more mass in that corner. So I went downstairs, I just remembered I had these bolts, and I think they're small enough that I can use them to center. As long as it's not too dry, I'm gonna attempt to countersink this. Oh, might be too dry. And I have to get it all the way into the corner. So I can use 2 hands. Move stuff. I think that might work. That is anchored. I did line it up with the corner, and it's like perfectly in the center of the alignment hole. The stud's a little bit smaller than the factory one, I think, but I think it'll be good enough. And then I'm just gonna kind of fill in around that. Try to get up to the threads a little bit so that it actually kind of anchors itself in there. I think once this all dries, you won't even be able to tell other than the stud sticking out. It should get pretty black like the normal plastic in there. And it's not going to use a nut or anything to hold it in place. Just the bolt to the right of it. Yeah, I think that's going to do good. Oh yeah. Got it coated. Nice and thick. Cool. Okay, so it looks a little wild, but I wanted to update. Ran into a small snag actually fitting this box in this housing with this cap. It's just not deep enough. I'm asking my buddy who actually sold me these bad boys what he did. He actually ran the same LEDs, so just got to figure that out. But I got my power supply, everything's wired up, plus a couple extra things, and I actually put one of the bulbs in there. I don't know if you can see it, actually. Very small. I accidentally put it in the high beam side, wired up as the low beam, so it's gonna be super bright. But figured I'd show y'all, and I got a switch for the high beam. And she's on. And she's very, very bright. Remember, because there's no reflector like that side. Okay, so she's running. And blinding high beam. And it does keep the low beam on. So then I'm also gonna have a fog rewire, and it will have all three on and blind everybody. All right, that's my update. That's my mess. Save the rest for another day. So, the epoxy came back out. These are the clips from around the headlight. And if you know anything about headlights, you know why I had to disassemble it. Well, no you don't. The mounting screws back here, this guy, probably way too close. That guy has a little clip that it's in a notch and it slides back and forth. And then actually I took it too far and the little clip popped out, so I had to bake the other one open. It's actually downstairs baking right now. And I found out that it actually had a crack, and so it was really loose and the little retaining nut thing fell out. So I epoxied it back together, and then while I was at it, I was like, oh, let me just bake open the quarter lenses and get these giant orange reflector bowls out of there, because it looks way cleaner when it's all silver. Look at that. Ooh. Oh yeah. Well, chrome. So good. Bad. Good. Bad. Good. And these aren't butyl rubber sealed. They just are like, I don't know. I don't think that's glue. I don't think that's rubber. But it's very hard. It didn't get soft at all, and I just kind of pried it up. So I'm just gonna probably silicone those back together. Yeah, a little bit of progress. I'll put that headlight back together and then do this one, and then you'll see them on the car. So I'm back with a bored adventure. Got my soldering iron heating up. This is my old guy. I had him like, I don't even know, 10 years. Just kind of beat up. Wish it works. So these are the JDM or Japan-based depot corners. And of course, these do not have the same hole pattern. The JDM one is actually a 3-prong, or I don't know, tab. And both USDM and JDM plugs are the same, but they use different bulbs. I think that's the 1157 with the offset pins, and the 1156 with the same pins. But then the USDM uses a different plug, and it has 2 wires on it. It has a little corner bulb in the side, in the orange part of the reflector on the i30, and this one has a totally different plug. So gotta swap those out, and then I bought this little plug off of Amazon. You can see the 4 tabs there, but of course it doesn't fit. But yeah, so I'm gonna solder it to the plug there, plug it into the resistor, do a little test of tape, and she worked like a champ. I already tested that one out. I love the all clear corner. You can't even really see the LED in there. It just looks super clean on the silver car, clear headlights. So I'll get all these soldered up and the hole trimmed out there, and we'll be good to go. I'll go install them on the car. Excuse the dirty car. Thought I'd show you the finished result. They're not perfect. I might get another set of the depots whenever I get a chance. I used a third-party app or service that brings them over on a shipping container, and they took like literally 2.5 months. Ooh, ooh. But I had like 20 minutes worth of footage, 20 or 30 minutes worth of footage showing how I soldered up resistors, but those resistors sucked. I actually had them wired up, and I was a dum-dum and did one backwards at one point, but I wanted to show you kind of how they turned out. I didn't do resistors, I did the LED blinker relay instead. So just the harness right here. Ooh, come on. Just a little guy. Oh, I forgot I had him tucked up. So the Morimoto's, oops, sorry. The Morimoto relay's chilling here. I had the resistors right here, but like I said, I took that out. So he's chilling here, plugged in here behind the headlight. All the wiring just kind of tucked in there. I went ahead and zip tied it. Can you see that? No, not really. Oh well. So yeah, just the one plug. Got everything wired up, highs and lows, and got the tester tape back on there, and I removed the extra bulb from in here because it was just so stinking bright with the runner on. It just looked like I had another headlight on. So I just went ahead and removed it and left them out of the whole harness situation. But yeah, that's that. And this little guy down here was a little bit different. So I modified these again. That's the one that I just piled up on top, and then I just kind of bored a hole in it. And I did the same on the other side, and it works pretty well. Oh, and now it doesn't work since I'm doing it one-handed. Yeah, that guy just chills there. One little screw. Hasn't fallen off yet. I've got the grounds right there. You can see it labeled. I just got one on each side. And the harness I routed through here, up under here. I popped that harness down. I tried to get it on top of it so it wasn't down and wouldn't dangle. But yeah, so the harness is running all the way under here and then pops out and sits in there, ground, wires, super clean, can barely tell. Yeah, so that's it. All right, we did a little front refresh. Let's do a little back refresh. One thing I've always hated about these dang taillights is this red reflector. Why did you break up this design? Well, come to find out, Japan and everywhere else got it right. Oh yeah. Gonna toss these bad boys in. You all know the deal. Couple clips. Couple bolts. See, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. No, no. Yes. Oh, I love it. Also, this sucks. Okay, super easy. I'm sure everybody's done it before. You just undo the plug. These two just like kind of self-lock onto the studs of the taillight, and then you got 4 nuts. And if you use a screw stick, which I love these Husky ones, the bigger end, I think it's 1/4, and that just slips right over, and you pop the nuts off. And then I like to finish with my hand. That sounds bad. Just so that I don't drop the nut. Oh, the jack. It's almost in the way. Alright, 4 bolts, and then because it's got the butyl rubber, like right here, around the outside, Luckily we're in Texas and it's like 90 degrees, but you come over here and you just kind of wiggle back and forth and it'll start to come out a little bit. You can also push from the inside, but this normally works for me. Ooh, now we swap. Alright, activate JDM Style Points. Too easy. That was like 30 minutes. Totally worth it. Better than anything aftermarket. Alright, now I gotta go work on other stuff. I wonder, is it mean to tease something several months before it happens? We'll find out. Ooh la la.